Hi, good evening, welcome back. This is the Student StarCraft AI tournament with the final broadcast. Today we've got the semi-finals in the winners bracket, and we've got the losers round 4 with which we'll be starting, and we've got SSCAIT versus Thomas Vader and Ironbot versus Crazio Protoss. Crazio doing awfully well with that build of his, and without further ado, let's head back into the game. Because the past few weeks we've seen the round robin and we've seen all the preliminary stages of this elimination bit of the tournament, and today we are going to see Ximp going for the Forge Fast Expand with a couple of cannons. And Seda, what's Seda going to do? Seda is going for a very quick factory and killing the scouting probe, which is rather well done, going for I think a bunker over here with 2 marines in it. And behind that, the factory's there with the machine shop, and Ximp is going for, as we have been growing accustomed to, with that same old build, with a lot of cannons, a very quick expansion behind that. And it looks like Seda is going for a very quick expansion as well. So, economy-wise, should be about equal to floating buildings at the low ground for the ramp. And the Vulture Harass cannot get in, and that should be that. And the waiting is for the siege tanks, and well, nothing too spectacular is happening here build order wise. It's just a lot of tanks coming up. Third factory already, 1 tank on the high ground. Very nice to see high ground mechanics being used. And Ximp is going for carriers. What a big surprise that is. And Seda has got wind of that, is building Goliaths for a living already. Look at the upgrades. Yes, the weapon range is there, and Ximp is still building with the carriers when the death train is approaching. So let's see if these tanks can be positioned in such a way that they can range the cannons. Yes, they can. Where are the carriers? Well, there is one, and here it comes. And oh, there are some carriers in the main base, but they're being set on by all the Goliaths, and I think that there are more than enough Goliaths, and the carriers are split up to try to retreat. One is suiciding into the natural choke. Meanwhile, the natural is being blasted. Oh, that's very well done. Was that a dropship? Well, how did that tank get there? I don't know. I don't really see a dropship at this point. There is a pack of carriers still. Ooh, command center rather damaged, but nothing to worry about really. Lots of Goliaths getting things under control. Ximp has got very few minerals. There is of course that tank in the natural, and with the 1 base mineral income, it's very hard to keep pressure on a Terran which has got 3 mining bases and try to deal with a contain like this. So while there are carriers and there are some minerals left, oh, sorry about that. It's going to be hard for Ximp to try and defend this. So yeah, let's see how this is going to play out. Tanks are not ranging that 1 cannon at the moment. Oh, carrier over here, still targeting the command center, but it's not really doing all that well. A tank coming out to help. More Goliaths on the way, so I think that Seda is doing okay, overrunning the natural. Now Goliaths in range, some ground forces from Ximp coming out to help. Oh, this tank finally being engaged, but you can see there are 3 carriers here and 1 there, and there are such a lot of Goliaths, so it's not really fair at this point. And there is a drop in the main, shutting down the mineral income, and Ximp is now completely out of money. And yeah, there you go. So Seda not really breaking a sweat this first game, not feeling the pressure, just moving out right on time to prevent Ximp from getting any more carriers. 3 base, 4 base economy, lots of mines all over the place. And that's the GG. Okay, so next game up. It is Benzene, and that's a big map, so perhaps that will give Ximp a bit of a reprieve to get that carrier thing going. As can be imagined, Ximp is going for the very same build with the nice SimCity, and even with the FAP and BWAM map analysis and SimCity plugins. It's really good to see a 2013 bot do with such a very good SimCity. and SSCAIT is going to sit back in that tight and a snug choke to try and get that tank count up, while XIMP is going for carriers yet again. And it's a miracle that you get that far into a tournament in 2018. Of course, this is 2018 finals in 2019. But I think that it will have to bring a very good game to try and stop SSCAIT, because here it comes again. The bridges are hindering it somewhat, but now with 2 tanks already there and the 4 carriers which are there, they can do quite well against the Goliaths. The problem is going to be, though, that the tanks will keep encroaching on the cannons. Eventually will certainly start taking down probes, and then the economy is down, and SSCAIT has got nearly the 4th base up and running. Now 8 carriers in a tight formation. The drop isn't getting anywhere, and although there are a number of Goliaths, I think, no, the mining is shut down already, so XIMP is having difficulties really making enough interceptors. Should perhaps wait a little bit, but then again, SSCAIT is making a lot of Goliaths too, so that is going to be difficult. You can see the interceptor numbers don't really reach any respectable numbers, and XIMP is still building, not building carriers anymore, has got an observer, and here is now the Nexus in range of the siege tanks, the tanks blasting away happily. Forge is down, and these carriers, they can't really keep up with that anymore. Here comes the drop into the main base, and of course there are 3 zealots, so I think that drop won't really do all that much. No, the ground forces deal with it quite handily, but the real problem for XIMP is going on in the natural, where the tanks and Goliaths prove a little bit too much of an unstoppable force, and they have got very good upgrades, so that's not really fair at this point. The main is sort of mined out, so XIMP, it looks like it's leaving the game. Yes, it does. So now the 3rd game, can SSCAIT clinch it 3 games in a row, or will XIMP have a stroke of luck, or perhaps deviate from its build order? Deviating from its build order is not its strongest point. Here we go again, 2 cannons, Forge, Pylon, and SSCAIT has got this build which kills XIMP, so I don't really think there is a necessity of switching it up. Of course, the contain doesn't really work versus cannons, but then again, XIMP doesn't really like moving out, and I think that SSCAIT is going to move on here 3-0. But here come the carriers, and now the push of SSCAIT is a little bit split up, so some units are straying and getting killed. That's good. XIMP doing good business here, but again the tanks are in among the cannons, and now there are Goliaths coming from 2 angles, but XIMP is clearing them out. And that is very well done. Lots of Goliaths falling, but the natural is under attack. The next wave of carriers is hitting the unprotected tanks, because the Goliaths can't really get too much done. And it looks like XIMP is on the winning hand. The 3rd base for Terran is up. Oh, there is a drop in... Oh, look at the worker count. The worker count severely depressed. Only 13 workers. The natural is down. The carriers weren't fast enough. I think they killed the vultures first. And now, although SSCAIT is back on its feet, XIMP has got the army advantage. There is a bunker, there is a turret, and perhaps, well, XIMP will just have to make it work with the 2 groups of carriers, and it's going for the main. And there isn't any production anywhere else, so if XIMP can conquer the main, it will be over. Then again, the main of XIMP is under attack as well, so this is a very tense situation. Look at the interceptor count, we've got 47, 46... and still lots of carriers being killed. The production is being camped, but the interceptor count is going down. Interceptor count is going down, no more production being added. 20, 15, 30 interceptors, and it looks like SSCAIT just helped this barely. And XIMP giving a very good show, but with 8 interceptors, it's very hard to fight off a 3-4 base Terran. And by now, there are 18 interceptors, one interceptor versus 18 Goliaths. And SSCAIT is just steamrolling into the main. XIMP, very well done, made it so very far into this tournament. It's really impressive to see how it's doing, and we can only hope that Thomas Vader will find the time to bring an update. SSCAIT, meanwhile, is undeterred and is clawing its way back out of the loser brackets into yet another round. And that's the 3-0. Wow, very quickly done. Let's move on to Ironbot versus Crazio Protoss. First game, let's go. So there we go, Crazio Protoss. Of course the story has been told 1,000 times, but we were all expecting Crazio Terran to fight, and Crazio Terran was to be the main contender for Seda, but Seda unfortunately fell to Purple Wave unexpectedly 3-0, and then wrecked Thomas Vader into well, 3-0, and Seda moving on. Crazio Protoss though had a bit of a fall over here a little bit earlier already, falling to Steamhammer, but then took out Microwave, took out Banana Brain 3-2. That was really tense, and now is facing Ironbot. And how is it doing? Well, it's doing quite alright, and is going for that same Cannon Rush thing. Then again, Ironbot is eating Cannon Rush things for breakfast. Here come the tanks, and once the tanks are out, immediately the Natural Command Center is landing, and Crazio is now trying to fend off a Vulture, 2 Vultures and a Wraith, and there are mines in the main. Mining time is being lost, and now it's a 1-base Protoss without any technology versus a 2-base Terran, and Crazio is going for some kind of Dark Templar tech, but at this point it's very hard to go for Dark Templars. Will we have? Yeah, we'll have a couple, and it doesn't look like there is any kind of a comsat out yet. The Academy is still building, so perhaps Crazio can get something done with the Dark Templars. Lots of damage done in any event, but there are Vultures in the mineral line, and that's generally not a good sign. So meanwhile, I am going for a turret, and the turret is now up and running, and although that tank might just die, no, it just gets saved in the nick of time, and Crazio is now in for a world of trouble. Last Dark Templar is dying, the Templar Archives is dead, and Iron, well, just leaving this pylon and cannon testament of Crazio's failed cannon rush, is rolling over the main. And there we go, Crazio leading the game 1-0 for Ironbot. Next game up is Jade, large map. Let's see if Crazio will start on the high ground. I think yes, oh well, of course it will start on the high ground, because this map is low ground main base and high ground outside. Oh, and the probe gets killed as well, so that's even more delaying the inevitable, but now there will be cannons, and quite a lot, so I don't think that these Marines will be in time. And Crazio has now got the high ground, and although it's not as spectacular as in Star Wars, in StarCraft the high ground does count for something, and Crazio's already making its way down to the lower ground. Wow, that's very good. And if it will make its way up to the thingy, the command center, it will be pretty difficult for Iron to get out. And Iron has got a little bit lower worker count already. These SCVs, the barracks just died, so these SCVs aren't all that successful in fighting off cannons, as can be seen here. Nice cover in the rear from here. Crazio going for the natural, has got an added economy and has got a lot of probes. Meanwhile, Iron should be pushing out a tank ASAP. It's not really doing so. Where is it spending its money on? It's not spending money anywhere, and that's generally accepted to be a losing strategy. Crazio's got some money in the bank, but Iron is not. Oh, it's just waiting for the cannons to be set up. Wow, that is a broadside of totem balls you are not going to like to have in your... Oh, now the tank's coming, and siege mode is done. So I think that once this tank is here, it will start working down the cannons, but the main is completely in tatters, and although this tank may do very well, there is a 3-base Protoss economy up already, and Crazio is now going for a ground push. Oh, we've got 2 tanks, that's grand. 3 tanks, which I believe eventually will clear out the main base, but Iron hasn't got the money to rebuild a command center, and Crazio, as you can see here in the production tab, is going berserk, and the Dark Templars are coming, and that is the Templar tech coming, the carrier tech coming up as well. So although all the cannons are falling, the Dark Templars are now making their way into the main base of Irons, or what used to be the main base of Iron, and this small army is running for its life, but in the end it's not really going to work, and Crazio, due to a little bit more aggressive cannon rush, better positioning, is putting the win off, and I think that is going to be the equalizer. Let's see if no one of these players will crash. And no Ironbot leaving the game, so let me update this just very quickly. Submit. Very good, it's 1 each, and back to the replay viewer, and the third game of Ironbot versus Crazio Protoss. And Icarus is a little bit smaller map. The question is, will Crazio be able to get up the high ground? And let's see and find out. Here comes the Forge, and here comes the Pylon, and there is a ramp as well, so that will be very difficult for Crazio to move up. The cannons are there though, and the factory hasn't even finished yet. So now the cannons are there on the low ground. So that, and there is a command center, no, command center bollocks, it's a barracks lifting and falling, and Crazio is, no, there is the tank, there are 2 tanks already, and I think that Ironbot is going to have its way with Crazio this game. Natural up for Crazio. Tech is coming, but there is only 1 gateway, and the Templar tech is still a long way off. And here come the Vultures and the SCVs, and this one goon is going to have to fight the fight of his life to keep all of that outside of the door. Now, more units should be coming. The tanks are really rather slow, but I think they will be coming eventually. And now Crazio is fighting Vultures with probes, and that's not the most successful affair, as can be seen here. There are some gateway units coming out though, but the Natural's not really mining. The worker count somewhat down. Two cannons in mineral line of the main is good. But then Iron is already mining from the Natural, setting up turrets. So I don't think that this Dark Templar thing... Oh, the Dark Templar thing is now exiting the base. Oh, this tank is running, it's rolling for its life. No, it's falling. And will we have... Oh, we've got a lot of turrets though, so that's not really going to be a very big issue. Here are the Dark Templars. Are there any mines? Yes, there are a couple. Let's see if that is going to work, but the Dark Templar are not really committed. They are chasing Vultures, and that of course will give Iron the time to build an academy, and Crazio is still suffering a little bit of harass in the Natural. Lots of workers dying. The Goons have some issue with the Vultures, I do not know why. Dark Templar coming home to help and defend, but this Natural of Irons hasn't been harassed all game long. There is a tank out there. Have we got siege mode? Yes, and we've got Cloak as well for the Wraiths. So that will be interesting. Dark Templar, the Science Vessel overhead, and the Goon numbers are so low that even the Vultures and a single Goliath can kill them. And of course, if these Goons are running, of course there is a tank coming as well, so this is not really going to work for Crazio. This game looks like. Third base up and running, Dark Templar weapon. Oh, there is a carrier being pursued by a Wraith. It falls, Natural, completely smather as thingy killed. And yeah, there we go. A simulator still there, and now Iron is going to make its way into the main. Crazio defending tooth and nail with 2 carriers. Doing okay, but there is just too much stuff, and at this point Ironbot has got the economic advantage. That mineral line is completely in control of Iron already, and Iron is powering through the main base. There are 3 carriers. Crazio has got 12 interceptors, but right now there are more Goliaths than there are interceptors, and at this point you are fighting a lost game. So all the buildings are being damaged equally, and they boom in the end. Yes, there you go. That's very beautiful. Update this. Yes, very good. That's not the easiest. Ironbot 2-0 up. Crazio will have to win this game to stay in the losers bracket, and Iron is going to have 2 chances at making the final losers round, or the penultimate losers round, because of course there is 1 player coming down from the winners round, which will be Purple Wafers, the cutest, great PvP, and we'll have to fight the losers round here. Now Crazio with a lot of cannons. And oh, so many SCVs had been AFK that it is only now that the machine shop is starting, and Crazio is trying to make its way up the ramp. The SCVs do not seem to care about that cannon, and that may prove costly. They do kill the building probe though. 3 more are being sent, and let's see if neither the machine shop nor the factory is doing anything. And now we've got cannons ranging the mineral line. There is no income for Ironbot. Ironbot's got a little bit of money, could mine some gas, could just quickly eke out a tank or a couple of tanks, but now Crazio has gained the advantage and is setting up a lot of cannons. The SCVs don't really know how to deal with that. Command center is under attack. Crazio starting construction in 2 expansions at once, and this is going to be the equalizer. Wow, that's pretty well done by Crazio. Let me update this once more. No, that's the wrong one. I need this one. And it's... yeah, I know. Stupid software. It's coming down to the 5th game. Of course, a best of 5 and 3 games to move on to. Oh, and it's Jade again with the high versus low ground. High ground on the outside. Crazio in a beautiful position, but now the factory is quicker, so I think that Iron is going to have a ball with this, but the tanks are on the low ground, and oh, the floating buildings are going... Are the floating buildings going to win this game? It looks like it, because Crazio can't really support this contain with just a couple of cannons on the low ground. The tanks are doing beautifully, and now Crazio has only... oh, it's got 3 gateways, so it might just work. The first goons are out, and I think that timing-wise, Crazio might just get away with not getting completely contained. But then again, Iron has got this command center over at the natural again. And oh dear, Crazio with 2 army supply is going... it's not going well at all for our friendly blue Protoss. And although the 3rd is up, it's been spotted by this vulture. It's quickly depopulating it. A wraith is coming over to help, and now Crazio is contained. The carriers aren't there yet, and Iron has got the 3rd operational already, and Iron is going for the kill. What can Crazio do with 6 army supply, 30 workers, still a little bit of income? The carriers are warping in as fast as they can. We've got 2 Dark Templars. They evaporate because there is already a science vessel overhead, and of course Ironbot just canned right on top of that. So the production of Crazio in tatters. 14 army supply, the vultures are everywhere, mining is stopped completely, and the 3rd base is sort of up and running for Crazio, but with all the production completely damaged, it is not going to be long before Iron, unless either bot crashes. But I think that Iron is going to, yes, completely wreck the main base. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's not good at all, and that is the GG. Crazio leaves with just the command center. It is turning light blue, and that means that Ironbot is making its way out here and is going to fight Seda. What a game that will be. Crazio, Protoss, very well played so far, but not enough, and I think that I am going to go into the last losers bracket before doing the semi-finals. So there is not an extra finals game, as you might expect. The format is such that the loser will have another chance, but the winner will have to do with just this game over here. So we're going to do Seda versus Ironbot first, then Purple Wave versus Locutus, and then whoever loses that in the losers round, and then the grand finals. So hold on to your helmets and let's get ready for Iron versus Seda. And this is a TVT masterpiece in progress right here. We've got Seda as the white Terran in the top left. At the bottom left we've got Ironbot. Ironbot used to be the dominant Terran for so long until Crazio took back the crown. Then Seda came into play and wrecked the entire competition. Crazio Terran stopped that successfully, but then well, Crazio Protoss was fielded for the main tournament, and that was a surprise. So let's see what is going to happen, because Ironbot also submitted an update for the finals, and I'm just very curious to see how this is going to be playing out. SSCAIT with the bunker and the vulture, but Ironbot with the very quick vulture out on the map, going for some kind of contain and going for a starport as well. And of course SSCAIT has got the economic advantage, and there is the run by. 2 vultures are getting into the main, but there is a tank already, and it looks like SSCAIT, although it might lose some mining time, not even that, is in complete control of the game. It's 9 versus 4 army supply, and although SSCAIT is 4 workers down, it's got these 2 command centers, and of course it's got a tank where Iron only has got vultures. There are mines out, so perhaps Iron can, or it's trying to lure the tanks onto a mine now with siege mode. And I think that SSCAIT, although a little bit down in army supply, the army value is much greater. Oh, and the Wraith is coming to pew pew, but with 3 SCVs repairing, I don't think that is going to be very much of an issue for SSCAIT. Now Ironbot has got the natural up and running, and we are going to slip out of the early game into the mid game. SSCAIT, what are you going to do? We've got 3 factories prepping, and Iron is trying to go for the contain, trying to harass the workers, but there is a turret already, and there is high ground vision as well in the form of this floating eBay. Goliaths coming out to help, and now the tank lines are growing. Where are the tank lines of Iron, one might ask? Well, the first tank's only coming into play now. So Iron having not really map dominance, but has got a better grip on the map and is using that to start a 3rd base. So although the tank lines are now in favor, they should just kill that eBay, but instead they do manage to snipe the odd SCV or 2, and the raid numbers are such that it is going to be a bit of an issue. So SSCAIT will have to spend money on raids. And SSCAIT will have to spend scans on the Wraiths as well. The Goliaths are too far in the back, and Iron is now harassing somewhat successfully, although SSCAIT has snuck out the 3rd base. And note, this base has not been claimed by Ironbot. So yeah, there we go. I think that eventually this eBay might fall. It's burning. And that will mean that the Wraiths will have not free range, and the raid numbers are falling a little bit. A couple of tanks across the bridge, and Iron is trying to keep tabs on all the bases with these mines. You can see it on the minimap, there are green, so that means Iron has got a vision on these bases. SSCAIT hasn't. SSCAIT, though, has got a vastly superior army. And Iron has got a 4th base now, and is also building production at that. And I cannot stress how important that is, because if your natural gets cut off, you are going to have to produce forces from your... Oh dear, oh dear. Here comes a drop, and what's the drop going to do? That's a powerful drop. It's 4 tanks with a complement of Goliaths right in the main base, killing workers left, right and center. And Iron, has it got siege mode? Yes, it's got siege mode, but what do? It's very hard to stop a thing like that once it's in your main. And every instant you hesitate, oh, that Wraith got killed right out of the starport, and SSCAIT is running away with this game. It's not really making any progress at the bridges, and Iron is building stuff everywhere, but now SSCAIT has got a complement of vultures out on the map and is using them to good effect. So, ooh, the Wraiths are doing well now. Oh, there is going to be a turret, but well, these are basically skirmishes, and still the tanks are there. Wow, more tanks being dropped. And now there are turrets over here trying to prevent reinforcements, but the main has been severely gutted. And it's a good thing that there is some production over here as well. But Iron does not like it. SSCAIT at this point is maxed. Iron clears the main, but at what cost? Half the main is in tatters. And this is not going to go well. SSCAIT, though, is now stuck at these bridges. Iron is stuck at these bridges from the other side. So the question is, what will happen to the rest of the map? And Iron is not even approaching max. Is it building? Oh, it's building. No, it's not building anything. It's just being supply stuck. That's very odd. It's stuck at 152. SSCAIT is long distance mining from everywhere. Oh, and it's transferring workers. And here comes another drop, but it gets cleaned up as this is basically Iron's territory. Iron holding on to this bit, and SSCAIT SSCAIT is sweeping down the map with a complement of vultures, and although they are not the strongest units, they do succeed in depopulating this base, and although the vultures are getting a couple of SCV hits on their tails, in general they are succeeding, and now it's going to be dangerous. This dropship didn't really do a lot of good, and Ironbot has got a large bank, so should be okay, but still losing a base for not really any good. So SSCAIT with a large run by, stuck at the bridge over here, and this is not really going to work, is it? We've got 2 dropships, but we haven't got any force because SSCAIT's maxed, and SSCAIT is sort of trying to do damage here, taking yet another base, lots of money in the bank for both players. Iron, of course, being stuck on only 1 base. So pardon me for speeding it up, but this game is rather long, and well, the broadcast is going to be a little bit longer still. Now SSCAIT is pushing at the bridges. It's losing an atrocious amount of units, but it appears to be making a little bit of headway. And look at the supply being lost. Wow, that's gruesome. And there are some forces at every expansion, and Iron is killing workers. So that is okay. Iron, though, is out of money and still at 152. Oh, but the drops, they clear out a couple of siege tanks, and SSCAIT is still pressing hard at the bridges. Iron defending with a lot of tanks, and this is very costly for SSCAIT, but Iron supply is falling a little bit at a time. Mining from here, only from there, and now the 2 vultures are getting killed. That's good, and SSCAIT is with another drop, so costly, but it looks like SSCAIT is making progress. And look at the production tab, that is insane. You can see how much money is being spent. Oh, the vulture though is doing a lot of damage over here, and SSCAIT might just mine out before Iron does. If Iron can only hold this siege tank position over here, let's see how this is going to go down. And SSCAIT crashes. Whoo! That is very interesting. I've never seen it do that. The first game going to Ironbot because SSCAIT crashes, and I've got nothing more to say, but let's get into the second game and let's see what's going to go down here. We've got SSCAIT as the purple Terran right over here at the 9 o'clock position, and at the 2 o'clock it's the brown Terran Ironbot with sheer tenacity and stuck on 152 supply, held up SSCAIT so long until it crashed, and by virtue of that won the first game. Going to speed it up a lot because although you can't see it because of the overlay, this is another long game. So SSCAIT with the bunker over here is doing quite well to protect itself, and Iron isn't really going to do its run by with that tank over here. Now 2 tanks, and although a little bit of a repair is going on, I think that with 2 factories now operational, SSCAIT will have enough tanks to especially with siege mode. Wraith going straight after the SCVs, doing a little bit of damage. 1 SCV killed, another one gas mining impeded severely. Natural a little bit later for Ironbot though, so SSCAIT doing okay in that respect, and now with the turret has sort of fortified. Oh, but the Wraith is being a major pain, and the Goliaths, they have to come in and chase it off, but still lots of scouting information gained by Iron, and Iron now, find another bridge, but it's going to need some tanks. Where are the tanks of Iron? Oh, there it is, the first one, and although SSCAIT has got a little bit of an army lead and a worker lead, it's by no means said that it will win this game, because it got stuck on a bridge last game, couldn't move across, and then crashed because I don't know why it crashed, but it did. And now it is... it's scanned there. SCV's right on top of the repair, and SSCAIT is doing so well. Ironbot isn't really making a lot of headway, making a 3rd base over here while SSCAIT is taking that one. And I think that once you're on the offensive, it is easier... another Wraith killed for no good reason. It is easier to be aggressive than to defend, even though you've got siege tanks. And now, let's see how good the repair actually is. The tanks of SSCAIT though are making a lot of progress and will be shelling the natural pretty soon if Iron doesn't do anything about that. So 3 bases up, And SSCAIT going not for another one over here, it's going for this one over there. And now it's SSCAIT's time to have a good contain on Iron. And Iron is not really used to that. It can harass and contain like a pro, but to defend it, it's going to be very hard. But then again, you've got siege tanks, and if you've got siege tanks, it becomes very cost effective to defend. SSCAIT though is going to approach and try to kill some workers as well. And now with a 4 versus 3 base situation, I think that SSCAIT is going to do... Where are these shuttles go? Oh, the dropships going right into the natural, and now these tanks of Irons are stuck because SSCAIT has got the natural choke contained as well, but Iron cleans it up just barely, and that is very well done at the cost of the natural though, so that is going to be a little bit expensive because the main is out. There is only this base mining, and SSCAIT having access to the entire map is going to push, and if it's going to be as tenacious as last game, it will lose a lot of units to these siege tanks, but in the end it will prevail, and Iron is trying desperately to claw its way back into the game, but with the siege matrix siege tank, lots of damage is going to be done. The natural still hasn't been rebuilt. Iron is sneaking out another base over here. Now it's 2 versus 1 base, but there is another drop right into the economy of Ironbot, and that's got to hurt. Meanwhile, more matrices going off on the siege tanks, and the natural choke is going to be contained. SSCAIT wrapping up all the bases of Ironbot, and unless it crashes, and perhaps the insane APM, if it's got too many units, it will crash. So Ironbot just try and hold on to this game to let SSCAIT crash, but the entire map is turning purple, and oh, the APM is dropping a little bit too. So that's not going to work, and SSCAIT wins game number 2. That is very well done. Ironbot, yes, yes, yes. I can't really work with this challenge software very well. We've got Ironbot versus SSCAIT, game number 3. The game is 1-all. Initial stage is going to be sped up enormously because I don't really want to see these 2 bots set up shop again. SSCAIT going with the bunker, the very fast expand. And Iron is going for the quick starport 2 factories, is trying to do some containing of its own. Will not succeed because there are 2 tanks, but the Wraith is overhead and the mines are there, so Iron is going for the throat. What can the Wraith do? There is a Goliath out, but it's all coming down to micro for SSCAIT, and SSCAIT has got the advantage. That has got the natural up and running, has got a large worker lead, and now Iron's harass has been nipped in the bud, I think. The Wraith is rather obnoxious, but can't really get too much done. Oh, no, it just didn't kill that. The other one did, but right after the construction of this factory ended, another Wraith is there. It gets shot down, and now SSCAIT is plastering the map with defensive structures, floating buildings overhead, and going for another base over here. Very well done, sending a small army, leaving it there to garrison that no stray vultures may run on and kill it. And now Iron is going to have to deal with this approaching siege tank army, and SSCAIT is playing like a monster. Iron, because it's a bigger map, can take another base, so it's 3 versus 3 bases. That is good. Iron has got half the army that SSCAIT has got. The dropships are there, and they are... Oh dear, dear, dear. The contain is not complete because they are not containing the right area, but you're already shelling the main base. And the question is, where are these dropships going? Where are the dropships? I saw them earlier. One's here. I completely missed dropships for some reason. Where are they? Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, the eBay, because there is high ground over here, can be shelled as well, and the same, I think, will be... yes, there we go. Repair! No, the repair is not on spot. Iron is a little bit better there, so defending for the time being. Got some good tank positions over here, but SSCAIT now has got a 4th base. And where are the dropships? The dropships are here. We've got 3 now. Okay, so that's... Perhaps they were trying to load up units and do a 3 dropship drop Here they go. Meanwhile, the tanks are inching a little bit forward, trying to contain over here, losing some vultures. The dropships, though, are going... They're going back. What's that about? They're going straight into the top left corner and then back to base. That's really odd. Meanwhile, a couple of raids being lost by Ironbot. And SSCAIT trying to inch its way into the production of the natural. And I lost sight of the dropships again. Where are they? Where are they? But Iron is just going to drive into the new base of Ironbot. And that can be quite... Oh, here are the dropships, though. They're going to make the long way down. Let's see if they're going for this base or for... They're going for this one. And with some rallies from the top are shutting it down quite effectively. And that will mean that Iron is going to be in for a world of trouble. As, oh dear, there are already wraiths in the main. Tanks on the outskirts and almost in the natural. The third base is completely shut down. Oh, and the drop just picks up and moves on and is going for the natural. The static defenses are overrun, and with rolling in here from the top comes the main army of SSCAIT. Ironbot is in a world of trouble, especially since the main base is mined out. There is no more money. There is a science vessel over here, and that's the last bit of army. But with almost 60k APM, there is every reason to fear that SSCAIT will crash, because it's going to be... Oh yes, shouldn't do that. But it has to be very quick for Iron, because otherwise it's going to be the end of this game, and SSCAIT is going to take a 2-1 lead. And yes, there it goes. SSCAIT reporting the score, 2-1. Yes, and it's not going to move out because of course it's a best of 5 and we've got more games to come. So 2-1 for SSCAIT. Ironbot doing very well in game number 1, but game number 2 and 3 fell to SSCAIT's meticulous Terran play with the great drops, doing so much damage, and it is only to be hoped that more players will be incorporating drops into their normal play. You can see over here that SSCAIT again has got oh dear, has got some vultures going, but can't really run by because there is a bunker and a tank, and then it's just not worth it, I feel. And perhaps these vultures feel the same as well. They are laying some mines, but right outside of the range of these tanks, and with 3 tanks, I think that SSCAIT has successfully held this early contain. There is a Wraith coming, so let's see what the Wraith is going to do. Will there be a Goliath? No, not yet. But with 3 SCPs repairing, I don't think that this Wraith will have a very high chance of killing even a single tank. Will there be another Wraith though? Nah, there will be a Goliath first. And ooh, that was a glorious mine hit, look at that! And that sort of halves the tank count on SSCAIT's part. And a couple of more mine hits like that, and it will be very hard to come back from. More Goliaths being built in the meanwhile. So first tank of Irons being rolled out, but I generally feel that once the contain fails, you need to bring these tanks a little bit sooner into play, because otherwise the enemy is going to run wild with the tanks, and then you will have to be very clever with your vultures and Goliaths to try and harass. Meanwhile, SSCAIT is just making a lot of units, and you can see that reflected in the army count. It's 48 versus 36, and that is not even taking into account the army value, because there are a lot of vultures on Ironbot's side. There were even medics for some reason, and SSCAIT has just got this great composition of tanks and Goliaths. Upgrade-wise, it's not really all that different. And although Ironbot is sneaking out a third, it will soon be cut off, because SSCAIT is right now attacking the main. Oh, and the Goliaths come in just to save the day, and the tanks. Now the tanks will be ranging the Minra only with the vision from this high ground barracks, this floating barracks, and now there is a vulture in the third as well. It's being got at by a Wraith, a couple of Wraiths, but all in all, I think that SSCAIT is in control of this game, having control of the natural choke, shelling the workers over here. Now, Iron is trying to do what it can, but it's not really in a position to do all that much anymore. And you can see that this third is going to be completely shut down, although the Wraiths do repel the vulture somewhat effectively. The tank shelling from the rear is doing a lot of damage, and this command center is It's falling. It's fallen. So, wow. Oh, I completely missed the drop again. That was bollocks. But the drop is on the high ground and Iron can't really get to it. That was a brilliant play by Seda. Seda now also shutting down the natural. The main is nearly mined out, and Seda is going to go for the throat, unless of course it will crash again. But in the last 2 games it didn't crash, so that makes me suspect that it won't this game. The dropships are going round the bend once more. We've got 2 of them there are being repaired, and one of them is going out for another mission. But I think that this mission is over, as Iron's defenses have crumbled, and Seda is going to move into... oh dear, oh dear, so many tanks. Seda is doing this in style. There is a refinery left, but I think with this mine is seeing it. And that was the game, so that's the 3-1 for Seda. And Seda is moving into the ultimate losers round, and let's have Purple Wave versus... ta-da-da-dum! It's going to be Purple Wave versus Locutus, and Purple Wave is playing as the brown Protoss right over here. I'm going to speed up the initial stages again because we have seen that so many times this tournament already. It can't really be all that interesting unless until the first combat units are coming out. It's not going to be all that interesting. This scouting probe trick is still going on, and the Locutus is denying entry to the scouting probe of Purple Waves, and I think that is a very clever play, and more players should learn to do that. Meanwhile, the Zealots finally escaped, and the Locutus hasn't gotten a unit in the world. It's only got this one goon. And there is a sizable number of Zealots coming. The workers coming off the line to shield off the Zealots, but so many of them are dying, and you can see the work count for Locutus complete. Oh, and now the... oh, that's just mean. And now all the workers are dead, and there are still a couple of Zealots alive, and they take their sweet time. There are no reinforcements for some reason, but the early attack shuts down. Oh dear, and Purple Wave takes the kill in number 1. So that is 1-0 for Purple Wave. And the Locutus, whoa, that was a nice trick blocking off the enemy, but then didn't make any units. And because both of these players can learn like the best of them, I don't think that the Locutus will fall for the same trick again. So going for a beautiful SimCity with Zealot, and is going for a cannon as well, so already it's got more force than it had last game. And now Purple Wave is coming in for the kill, but the Rafteries, oh, it's bringing workers, and it's trying to work a trick, but it's absolutely failed because there was a cannon as well. And now Locutus has got the lead, has started the natural. Oh, Purple Wave has already completed the natural. So Purple Wave really hitting the final stages of this tournament with a nice bag of tricks, lots of cool build orders, and as they say, it's anyone's game still, because both players have got about 25, 27, 28 workers, got a bit of technology, haven't got too many gateways, but the army is on the side of Locutus, and now it's Purple Wave without any army, has got 2 cannons, has got a tiny bit of production, and Locutus is going to hit. So that is rather ironical, taking out the enemy in the fashion in which you are falling the next game. And although Purple Wave hasn't fallen yet, there is no Templar tech coming, so with the precious goon micro that Locutus has, I can't really see this table turning in Purple Wave's favour, and Locutus is doing a lot of damage. The goons are so aggressive and proactive, they're killing a lot of probes, and now killing the natural as well, while taking a 3rd base. So not really banking on one strong card, just going for a meticulous macro play, lots of gateways coming up, Forge spinning of course, and now the main nexus of the enemy has been killed. Locutus taking a game back from Purple Wave, and taking a little bit of time to wrap it up, because as we saw earlier, Seda crashed versus Ironbot, and that was really unexpected, but I'll have to let every game play out. Yeah, what are you doing, stupid? I'm doing something wrong, surely, but never you mind. Game number 3. The game is 1-0, and Purple Wave had a nice pressure build, which worked wonders. The first game, didn't the second, and let's see what the third game is going to bring. Locutus should... Oh, Locutus is going for... Ooh, that looks like one base. Goon with range, and the same thing appears to be happening over here. Yeah, there we go. 2 zealots over here, 2 zealots over there. So right now we've got an exact mirror. Next unit will be a goon. Range will... Oh, this looks like a little bit of cheese, because that is a very quick archives. And that is going to be a forge, or is it going to be... No, it's a cannon. Oh dear, oh dear. And now Purple Wave, the cheesy bastard, is leading the charge with 1 Dark Templar. Will there be any kind of detection? There is no forge, no Robo-Bay. And although, oh, look at the damage this 1 Dark Templar is doing, and a little friend is coming in to help as well. The cavalry is going to come in for support as well. There is a forge, so this might be a cannon, and Purple Wave is trying to clinch it. And some workers... Oh, the cannon in the Natch. Oh, the cannon gets... Oh no, there was a DT as well, so all the cannons are falling, and now there are 3 DTs in the mineral line of Locutus. Purple Wave, that cheesy bastard, completely ignoring the large army that Locutus has, just staying right outside of the gate, taking a natural behind that. That's still, but all the workers for Locutus are now killed, and every technology which can lead to a scam is going to be killed. Oh dear, oh dear. And Locutus is going to mine gas, which has got a lot of already, and now the army in good time is being slaughtered bit by bit. The main army from Purple Wave is rolling in, and Purple Wave with another brilliant strategy. And although the micro and the macro aren't the best, the decision making and the strategies coming out of Purple Wave are just excellent, and it shows, because taking down Locutus in yet another game, being 2-1 up versus Locutus in the penultimate winners round, it is not bad at all. So Purple Wave 2 up, yeah, and that doesn't matter because it's a best of 5. Oh dear, what did I do? I did something wrong. No, I need the replay viewer. And I need game number 4. Please, yes. And it's recording still, so everything is going well. Purple Wave, 2 games, and Locutus only 1. Who would have thought that? And Locutus hasn't any game been able to get that large number of goons with the superior micro. And Purple Wave has been on top of the game with good build orders and just switching things up before it gets to that stage where you've got a lot of goons on the side of Locutus. Locutus now going for a war of the same build order. 2 zealots, 1 goon, and the same thing is there. Oh, and we are going to see that is just beyond ballsy. And will Locutus now make a unit that can, or a building which can detect the Dark Templars, which will be coming shortly, or are there already? And that is just, oh, that is so mean, because a human player would, or perhaps a human player would not imagine that the enemy would go Dark Templars 2 games in a row, because that is pretty risky. And if the enemy stops it, you'll be caught with your trousers down, and now the cannons are there. So Locutus appears to be in a good position, but the army is coming in. The army is coming in, the natural starters for Purple Wave. Purple Wave, although there are cannons out, is doing a lot of damage to the buildings which are not in range of the cannons. Lots of goons for Purple Wave are dying. You can see the micro of Locutus doing wonders. But still, these Dark Templars are doing a lot of damage. Are there more coming? No, it's just going to be goons from here on. And you can see that these Dark Templars are still in the main base doing tons and tons of damage, not only to goons. Locutus just can't get its army up, and it's still got these pesky DTs. It can't build any more turrets. It's just got this mineral line safe, and it hasn't got the code to expand its vision. And these Dark Templars are doing so much damage. Some goons are coming. Locutus is doing okay with the goons. and there is not going to be any mobile detection soon, looks like. These Dark Templar are doing damage again and again, and Purple Wave has got a worker lead. Hasn't got an army lead yet, because, well, Locutus is defending quite well. Oh, now there is an observatory. And will we have an observer as well? No, for some reason Locutus is not building an observer and now hasn't got the robo anymore, so that's going to be difficult. Meanwhile, these Dark Templars have got so many kills between them and are just killing everything right outside of the sight range of these two cannons, and that's just cruel. And then again, Purple Wave really deserves it with this superior build order thing. And although Locutus is doing well with the micro of these goons, look at how well these Dark Templars stay outside of the range of these cannons. And Locutus is defending well with the goons it's got, but these Dark Templar are just too much and it can't really rebuild. Oh, one Dark Templar gets away with its life. That's very daring. Third base starting now for Purple Wave. Main base for Locutus. Got a lot of juice in it, but oh, it seems like one Dark Templar has fallen, but now it's 4 versus 32 army supply, and even with the micro of Locutus and the two cannons backing it up from the mineral line, that's not a play you can generally be expected to win. Now, some kind of technology here in the middle of the map. I wonder if you're going to find out what it is. But the army of Purple Wave is moving into the main of Locutus. Workers are falling. The last couple of cannons are not under attack. I say Purple Wave's taking it very slowly, and why not? You are 2-1 up, and you never know what Locutus can still do to you, so better take it safe. Oh god, Forge, lots of productions everywhere, and Purple Wave, wow, doing it in style, taking yet another base, and although it sort of ignores the cannon and takes a lot of kills before it, for that, now is in complete control of the game. We'll have to let it run out because you never know, Purple Wave might still crash. Doesn't look like it. That's the last building. That's the GG. Purple Wave running 3-1 out of the winner's bracket and is in the finals. And now we've got Locutus versus SSCAIT, and I don't want to waste any more words on that. Let's get it on. We've got SSCAIT as the purple Terran right over here, and we've got Locutus as the white Protoss right over there, and that wasn't all that interesting, but as this is, well, the last game of the loser's bracket in the 2018 finals, it is going to be something. And can we see that? Yes, SSCAIT started out over here, didn't play Locutus yet. Locutus stayed in the winners round until it met SSCAIT over here, so no previous experience for both of these players playing against each other. Well, they did play each other in a round robin, and as they say, once you reach these stages of the tournament with the learning capabilities these two bots have, that doesn't mean very much anymore. So SSCAIT going for the very safe bunker and the quick expansion again. And Locutus is protecting this, the information it's got, and right now I would be very suspicious. Oh dear, and I completely missed that. That was a double proxy Stargate, and the DTs, they don't have any compassion for me or for SSCAIT. They wreck everything. And although, oh, there is a turret now up here in Natural, the main base is completely ruined with two DTs just sneaking in there, killing stuff left, right and center. And now Locutus can just sit back for a while, relax, not worry too much about this bunker over here. SSCAIT making a lot of workers, but there is a lot of damage being done to the eBay, and the goon numbers are still, wow, that, going for the bunker will hold! Oh, and the bunker falls, and that's just gruesome, because now the DTs sneak into the Natural, kill the last scouting building, the scanning building, and kill. Oh, that is just, there is a command center with 3 SCVs mining from it, so SSCAIT can still restart. I think that Locutus will find it though and shut it down presently. And wow, the liftoff fails as well, and Locutus one game up versus SSCAIT, and of course SSCAIT has been the #1 for so long, so everyone will of course have incorporated some kind of a cheese build to deal with SSCAIT in the eventuality And Lecutus is going to bring just that, another cheese game and another right in your face. That's just the one proxy. It gets scouted by Seda, and what will Seda now do? Seda will build a bunker closer to the mineral line, and then a very quick factory, and no scanning. So let's see, this is a 2-gate. Here are the 2 probes blocking it, and this is going to be another Dark Templar play. So Seda had better have learned. Oh, it's trying to kill the pylon. It's killing the pylon. The pylon falls. Oh, but the DTs. Ah, that is so unlucky. The eBay is still. The eBay is alive, but these Dark Templar, they just popped out seconds, a half second before the pylon died, and now all the workers for Seda are gone but one, and that's still trying to get into the main. That's not fair at all. Seda could build another worker over here and try to restart that, but it's not really working for it at this point, and that is just, oh, that's relocating command center. Oh, it is built a marine, so yeah, there you go. Didn't work all that well, so that was the main base, and still these 2 gateways are over here. Now a little bit of production has been added over here, so I think that, oh, they don't really dare engage the pylon, the turret, although there is only a badly damaged marine protecting it. And now the goons come in and they clear everything up. They found the command center as well. So now I think that it's going to be 2-0. Wow, cheesy bastard Lecutus. But can you fold him? And it's going to say that Lecutus will move back into this game, but that isn't true because we've got more games to come. And it's Seda versus Lecutus. Lecutus doing the Dark Templar thing 2 games in a row. Is again blocking the ramp, so beware of cheese. Yes, here we go. And again, Seda spots it. But Seda appears just not to know or not to care what's going on. And here comes the Templar Archives again. If you are going to be Templar rushed 3 games in a row, you are going to feel pretty bad about yourself. The Dark Templars are starting, and let's see, but now there is only 1 vulture. The other one will have some time yet to go, and now the Dark Templars move out. And I think that's the right decision. Oh no, now they oh dear, oh dear, the vultures give up on killing the pylon. They should have stayed another second longer. And now it is all over again because all the workers die. And although Seda has, oh, the Dragoons, they move under the command center, preventing it from landing, and that is just cruel. Then again, it's war, and it's a matter of life and death in AI land. So, yes, there you go. Oh, the mine's finally killing the Dark Templars. But all in all, these vultures will shut down these buildings pretty quickly. And perhaps they will lose a number of themselves to the mines. But this is the last depot, and Seda is getting 3-0'd, save for this command center. Might be found anytime soon. Lecutus might still crash. Still in the Congo line, trying to find the enemy. It's not really successful. Here they go, and that is the game. Lecutus taking out Seda 3-0. And now we'll have the grand finals, which will be a repeat of Purple Wave versus Lecutus. Purple Wave won that 3-1. Let's see if Lecutus has learned anything from that in the meanwhile. Winners round, the last winners round. Here we go. Lecutus versus Purple Wave. Again, the reload. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Have I got the right game though? Because Purple Wave versus Lecutus on Icarus. I haven't got the final games. Oh yes, I have! Haha, I've got the finals. I already thought the number of games was off. This is going to be a best of 7 PvP, Lecutus versus Purple Wave. And pardon me for not correcting myself earlier, but I just reloaded the winners round 4 again, and now we've got the finals on our hands. It's game number 1, Lecutus versus Purple Wave, and let's see what they are going to bring. both players, of course, are full of cheese, as we have seen before, and that is a similar build order kind of thing going on. First probes will meet each other in the middle, and you can see we've got a perfect mirror going on. For the time being, no kind of trying to hide what you are doing this game. That though is a... oh dear, Locutus this game appears to be going for yet another cheesy Templar kind of thing, but has got a lot of gateways to do that. And it looks like Purple Wave is doing exactly the same. So Purple Wave's got a little bit more workers, and although there is a Citadel, there is no Templar archives yet. Is there anywhere else on the map? No, there isn't. So I think that Locutus is going to do some goon micro, and it's killed the first goon already, and then it will just have to contend with a couple of zealots, and it can kill those for a living all day long. Meanwhile, a couple of cannons being popped out over here. The first Dark Templar for Purple Wave is coming in. Oh, and there is one hero. There are two already. How bad am I as a caster? I really need a dedicated observer for the next tournament, because I just completely missed two Dark Templars. And now Locutus will need... oh, it will have a cannon. The goons... oh, or will the DTs... no, the goons stay. They'll throw themselves into the cracks of the defense. Oh, but that was just too close, and now the Dark Templars are completely on the loose and killing all the things that can produce either a cannon or an observer, and the natural expansion has been started. Of course, this one goon won't get in because Locutus has got a number of goons left, should march straight for the enemy or try to salvage anything here, but by now the worker count's so very low, it's really not going to work, looks like. And although no, Locutus hasn't got the money anymore to do much with that, perhaps this is going to be an observatory, or I don't know what it's going to be, or a... oh, that's just mean. The Robo Bay died, and now we've got an observatory. So now all the workers will be gone. Natural up and running for Purple Wave. Still a pack of goons on the ramp. And now the Dark Templars are coming back to help round up the forces of Locutus, and Locutus is going to fall. And I don't think that Purple Wave is going to crash. And that is the game. As they say, it's 1-0. For Purple Wave, can I... best of 7. Yes, so we won't get a premature winner. Alright, second game, 1-0 for Purple Wave. Locutus will have to fight from a disadvantage and is now blocking the... oh, it's going for something else. No, it's going for the same build order. And Purple Wave is going for... is that going to be a Citadel? Yes, it is. Is that going to be a Templar Archives? No, it's going to be Forge, so a bit of a wacky build order. And we've got a goon and 2 zealots moving out, but now Locutus is not taking any chances this game, just building a perfect SimCity with 2 cannons. And the onus is now on Purple Wave to try and make this work again. There is no Templar Archive, so I think that's good. And with a little bit of faster Nexus, I think has got some good cards. Oh dear, dear, dear. Now we've got a Dark Templar from Locutus, but there are 2 cannons, and they will just stop that Dark Templar before it reaches the main base. Another one is coming, and that will mean that Purple Wave will have to be on the defensive for a little bit. And that will give Locutus the time to get this natural of its own started. It is losing some Dark Templar though, and that's not good. That means a lot of money lost, and that will translate into an army advantage for Purple Wave. Purple Wave, let's look at the upgrades, has got legs and range, and Locutus is only yet starting range. Will be soon, will be done soon, so not that big of a problem. Now we've got Templar Archives, a Robo Bay, and an observatory for Oh dear, oh dear, going for the throat. Will there be enough forces? There are 2 cannons over here from Locutus, but Purple Wave will have no mercy. And Locutus overextended by taking a 3rd over here. That was really ballsy, and now it's losing the gate to its main base. And if I'm not very much mistaken, there is an observer overhead, so if any emergency Dark Templar are... There are 3 emergency Dark Templar, but they are still parked in the main base, and they are not going to do any good there. Meanwhile, there are going to be... Dark Templar of Purple Wave. And Purple Wave, again with a good build order, is doing a ton of damage, is going for the 3rd base over here. Natural is still up and running, but some buildings have been killed, and oh, that's a lot of Dark Templar. Still, there are Dark Templar which are not being scouted here out in the main base killing probes. And that's not good because the probe count is already pretty low. 3rd base is dead, Natural's under attack by Zealots, and the main base is being harassed, or I should say completely wrecked by these 2 Dark Templars of Purple Waves. Purple Wave being on top of the build of the game, surprising with a bit of an all-Danish Dark Templar thing, and then backing it up with solid play, and then slipping in a couple of Dark Templars just to make sure. Locutus overextended, tried to get up the goon numbers with a lot of production at home, but couldn't swing the economics, and is now down. Oh wow, that's Imber for you. Set 1. Like this. Okay, reload. Well, it's 2-0. Let's hop straight into the next game. Haha. 8 times the speed, Locutus now as the orange Terran, and Purple Wave as the purple one. Oh, that's very appropriate. Purple Wave going for a gateway first, then another pylon. That's not all that shocking. Same thing happening over here, no doubt. Both players going for the quick simulator. And the question is, what will both players do for a build order? Because Locutus now blocking the ramp, going for some kind of tech. That must be a core. Yes, it is. 2 Zealots on the ramp, and 2 Zealots not quite on the ramp over here, but still... Oh, because the scouting probe's already in, and that would be a bit of a waste. Now the goon kills it, and both players trying to deny vision to what's happening in the main base. So, range being done for Locutus, and Locutus might just try and go for a little bit of goon harass, because Locutus's goon harass is the best in the world still, and it's just a big pity for Locutus that it hasn't been able to do anything with that. Oh, and here are the Dark Templars again. Oh god, what have we got? The Forge is starting, but I fear it will be a little bit too late. The Dark Templars are in among the goons already, and the army of Purple Waves is keeping a safe distance, as are the cannons. Just in the nick of this one, will not finish. Oh dear, Locutus is getting so abused by these Dark Templars, and the save build order it did last game didn't really work, and then it reverted to something else, and it's paying a hefty price for that. All the workers are gone, the Forge is gone, and Purple Wave has got the Natural up and running, and with a worker advantage of 41-0, and Nexus advantage of 2-1, and the army advantage is there already, so that's not going to work. Although these 5 goons can micro pretty well, in the end there are not going to be enough of them to get something done, and of course these Dark Templars are completely unfair. That must be said, because Purple Wave deserves full credits for the build order mastery it's displaying here in this final. This is the final game. It's a best of 7, but right now Purple Wave is 3 games up. Good morning to you, sir. That is very, very impressive. One more game and it will have won the entire tournament. And this is game number 4. Locutus is on its last legs and really behind the ball now. So Locutus, what are you going to do? You'll need time to get your goon numbers going, and you will need not to fall to the Dark Templar strategy that Purple Wave explain. At Purple Wave, what are you going to do? First game, Dark Templars. Very well played. Then second game, Locutus prepared versus Dark Templars, and you, Purple Wave, went for the macro game with Dark Templars later, which was brilliant. Now we have got Scouting Probe, which will see a cyber core. And back at Locutus' home, we've got exactly the same thing going on. So with that scouting probe, it should not be a big surprise. It sees what's coming here, and that is going to be a citadel. No mistake about it. Just no mistake. And once you see a citadel, you have got to make a forge right quick, or a rover bay, or anything like that, because you know that the next building is going to be Templar Archives, and with 2 gateways that's going to be a bit of an issue. If you've only got 4 gateways, a lot of pylons and a spinning core and a lot of probes at this point are just juicy. They are prey. And here come the 2 Dark Templar, and Locutus has just not learned from the last 3 games, or well, the 4 games before that, because do not forget, both players already met in the semi-finals. Purple Wave got out of that 3-1 and appears now to be completely on top of the build order game. And the cannons, they are now being shielded by the army, so Locutus looking good in that respect. Natural started for Purple Wave with 2 cannons as not to get countered. Dark Templar Rush, the cannon is up! The cannon is up, and there you go. So now it's going to be difficult. And now it's going to be, oh dear, this should be built in a safe place and not right behind, or not right in front where the Dark Templar are, because then your technology, your mobile technology, is going to be killed. And that's not the worst. Locutus still has got a nice army which is sort of shielded by this forge, but it can't really get out, and these Dark Templars are just going to do damage, and this economy is just going to brim behind these 2 cannons, and that will mean that Purple Wave in the end will have a superior force. Right now Locutus is ahead, no question about that, but these Dark Templar are doing too much damage, and this is not the right place to build any kind of observer technology. So Purple Wave, oh dear, Purple Wave getting a little bit lucky that Locutus hasn't really got a good building placement to prevent this kind of DT harass. But it must be said that Purple Wave is going to take full credit for this final. It is going to be, unless Locutus pulls... Oh! There is an observer, but right now it's 10 army supply versus 40. And 1 observer over here, 1 over there. What Locutus is not building? Oh, Locutus is making a lot of goons, trying to make as many as it can, but it's got 2. And that's not going to be enough, because there are so many red Protoss forces, and you can see the micro is trying to pull off, but it's going to be pinned down to the wall. The cannons are blasting as fast as they can. But right now it's 3 bases versus 1, and that 1 base is under very heavy attack. Locutus could try and build some zealots. It's building some zealots, but it's just not going to be enough. This 1 cannon will storming the gas probes, and this is just a desperate last stand at this point. Purple Wave is taking its sweet time, not overextending, bringing an observer of its own, which is going to suicide on the cannon, looks like. But by now there are so many zealots trying to catch the blast for the observer that the observer will probably be quite safe. And Purple Wave is moving in for the kill. The observer, seeing everything, now has got no fear at all. 4 gateways are all that is left from the once proud Locutus base, and Purple Wave is going to clinch these finals 4-0. Dan Gant, author of Purple Wave, congratulations in winning the tournament. You have earned it. That is one sick game you played there, and let's recap the path you took. And let's update that first. Set number 4 went to Purple Wave as well, and Purple Wave started out here versus Proxy 3-0 versus a very good Zerg. Then a very close game. This was one of the best of 5s of the tournament. If you have not seen it, please watch it. Banana Brain came so close to beat it. Then Purple Wave with some brilliant tactics took down Seda 3-0. Watch that as well. Then versus Locutus, the first game, very well done. And then the last game versus Locutus, again, very on top of the build order thing. And Locutus has had a brilliant run as well, because taking down Eric Hammer 3-0, TSMU Protoss 3-0, Ironbot 3-1. falling to Purple Wave has not been a shame this game, because 7-1 to Purple Wave, that's got to hurt. Then though, Lycudus beat Seda 3-0, and that is something spectacular in its own right. But the winner is Purple Wave. Congratulations! This was the Student StarCraft AI Tournament 2018, the grand finale, and I want to thank everyone who has coded the bot, everyone who participated in this beautiful tournament, the winners of the round robin, and of course everyone who played in there. Hope to see everyone again next year, and all the new players as well. Everyone who has been watching, everyone who has been spreading the word, and everyone especially who has been supporting us through Patreon, thank you very much. I have had a blast this tournament. I hope you have it too. And for now, there is nothing left for me to say. Thank you for watching. Hope to be here again next week with a regular broadcast. For now, goodbye. Last congratulations to Lycudus and to Purple Wave, the winner of the 2018 finals of the Student StarCraft AI Tournament. And now, goodbye.